Never withdraw cash from your card. Welcome back to the growth platform if you are a returning subscriber, and welcome if you are new here. I would like to invite you to go ahead and click on that subscribe button. On this channel, I speak about financial tips, personal growth and development tips. I also talk about the law of attraction, and I also am big on self-development and self-growth, hence the name of the channel, the growth platform. So if that is something that interests you, I would like you to go ahead and subscribe. You read the title. Today I will be talking to you about how to manage your credit card. Now, just a disclaimer before we begin, I am not a financial advisor. I do not work in banking and finance. I am just sharing my own tips and advice as to what I use in my personal life to manage my credit cards like a boss. Okay guys, so before we jump into the video, I just want to let you guys know, before you even get to the point where you have a credit card, what I would suggest that you do is to shop around. What do I mean by shopping around? Shopping around basically means you will be visiting other banks' websites and doing a side-by-side comparison. So there are many different banks in Jamaica. They have many different interest rates. Also, you need to familiarize yourself with the terms and conditions of having a credit card. So, for example, you could visit NCB's website, Sagicoro's website, CIBC First Caribbean, Scotiabank, and they usually have the information available on their website. And if you do need further clarifications, you can actually speak to someone in customer service by calling their customer service line. So before you even decide to get a credit card, my first tip would be to shop around. You don't want to sell yourself short by not allowing yourself the most competitive interest rate on your credit card. Good. Alright, so after you've gotten the credit card and you've decided, okay, I'm gonna go with this company, then these are things that I would suggest that you should do, that I do in my personal life, and it's worked for me. But then again, guys, what works for me might not work for you. But if you're currently finding yourself in a situation where you have no plan, your current strategy isn't working in terms of how to effectively manage your credit card, then I would suggest to go ahead and give my option a try and see what happens. So if you don't try, you will never know. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. But if you do decide to try my method, I would like you to come back and leave a comment to let me know if it works out for you. Alright? So if you see me looking down, I have some notes that I made, and from time to time I'm going to be looking down on them. So you've done your shopping around, side-by-side comparison, you decide on the company that you want the card with, you go ahead, you get your card, familiarize yourself, TNC. And the TNC are the terms and the conditions. Now, most banks, they charge interest based on your balance, your current balance. So you have available balance, which is the money that is available to you to spend, and you have current balance, which is the money that you basically owe the credit card company, and that is essentially what they charge the interest on. They also have a annual fee. I know majority of the banks, they do have an annual fee, so you also need to familiarize yourself with how much that will be per annum, because that will be added. And also some banks, they do have insurance, and they do deduct it from your current balance, your available balance. So you also need to do your checks and your triple checks before you get into something that you aren't sure about or that you were not aware of. The first thing you should know, credit card companies are not your friends. They are not your friends because ultimately they're going to be charging you interest for you to use their money. Essentially, that is what a credit card is. You are borrowing the bank's money to do your bidding, and they're going to charge you interest. So the first tip that I would suggest for you to never do, come closer, never withdraw cash from your card. Why is that so? When you draw cash from your card, your interest rate automatically goes up. It's going to be higher, no doubt about it, because you're taking live cash from the card. So they are going to charge you a higher interest rate to withdraw cash from your card. So that is something that, to be honest, I've never done that, and I would advise you to not do that. I've known a couple people who has done that before and they've lived to regret it. So do not do that. The second tip that I have that I use in my personal life, and I would suggest that you not practice, is to use one debt, because a credit card is a debt, to pay off another. For example, you might have a large balance on your credit card, like 300,000. It might be 200,000, but you might have like a loan. Your loan might be like 100 and something thousand, and you use your credit card to pay that off. Guys, you do not want to spend money that you already don't have to put yourself in further debt. I wouldn't advise it. So if you want to use your credit card like a boss, what I would advise you to do the minute you decide to get a credit card, to have the funds available. For example, what I do every month when I do my monthly shopping. So for example, you have $5 allotted to buy food. Now with my credit cards that I have, especially the one that I have with First Caribbean that I use most often, I get cash back. So I'm always using that card. So whenever I go grocery shopping, if I'm spending $5 in food, I spend the $5 from my card, and then when I get home, I will transfer the funds back onto the card. So what you should be doing is ensuring that whenever you're going to be using your card, you actually have the cash available on hand to put back on your card. So to always keep your balance at zero or as low as you can possibly get it, to not be charged that hefty interest, guys. Like, I've known people who they're currently in bad debt because of credit cards. Credit cards will ruin your life, okay? I'm not even joking. And it will also ruin your credit score. And if you did not see my video when I spoke about the credit bureaus in Jamaica, I'm gonna link to the video down below, because it's actually on my main channel and not this channel. So when you get your card, each month there is a minimum balance that you have to pay. So for example, you might spend $10,000 and the bank says for this month your minimum payment is $3,500. I've never paid the minimum, never. And you should never pay the minimum. You should always pay 2 or 3 times that, or pay in full. And why do I suggest this? I suggest this because each time your current balance goes up, your interest goes up. Because as I stated earlier, interest is charged on your current balance. So you do not want to have a hefty balance. Just imagine paying interest on $100,000 per month, paying the minimum. It's just crazy. Do not do it. It will ruin your life. Take my advice. I am speaking not from experience, but from association. I've known people who this has happened to, and it is not something that is fun, okay? Recapping everything that I said, before you decide to get a credit card, do your research. Know your interest rate, know your annual fees, know your minimum balance, and know how much percent is charged on your interest, and if interest is charged on your current balance. Do never spend what you do not have. Do not spend what you cannot repay. Do not use your credit card to take care of other debts and you do not have the funds available, because you will only be putting yourself into more debt. Do not withdraw cash from your credit card. Do not pay the minimum balance on your credit card. Always take care of what you've used, or pay at least 4 times the amount of the minimum balance, because as your current balance goes up, your interest rate also goes up. And credit is not bad. I just want to make that clear. Credit is never bad. Credit is what builds your credit score and ultimately builds you as a person as you grow, as you spend money, as you take out loans, as you just, live. but it's managing your debt. That is the make or break situation that will ultimately send you into debt or have you sailing the high seas, to have your finance under control. So I would love to hear from you guys down in the comment section. Do you have a credit card? Do you have any horror stories about your credit card? Or do you know anyone that has horror stories about their credit card? I would love to hear from you guys. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for your love and support here on The Growth. And if you are watching and you've not yet subscribed to my channel, please, I'm inviting you to go ahead and subscribe. It is free of cost, guys, and it does help the channel out. So until next time, I will see you guys here on The Growth. Take care.